With our replication group now configured, we've got a couple other settings that we just want to take a look at. The first of which has to do with the schedule for replication. If I take a look here at the company shared group that we created just a second ago, when we first configured this group, we configured the replication group schedule such that it would occur across all 24 hours across the dial, as well as all 7 days of the week. It also has no constraints on the amount of bandwidth that's being used in order to complete that replication. But here under the Edit Schedule view is where, based off of either the local time of the receiving member or off of UTC, I could configure a schedule to either eliminate replication from happening or to dial down its available amount of bandwidth. Now, all the usual caveats apply here with bandwidth. If you've got a very latent connection between two servers, you might want to dial down this connection so that the replication traffic doesn't prevent your users from doing anything else over that connection. Down here under details is where I can do some very specific detail for days of the week or hours of the day where I might just dial down the bandwidth just a bit. This gives you the ability to define the schedule for the entire replication configuration. Now, in our world where we have two different machines, that also is the entirety of the replication schedule. But in a world where I might have more than two, like 3 or 6 or 100 different machines that are replicating to each other, this master schedule may be less helpful for me than some more specifics to the schedule or being able to dial it down by machine for each individual connection. And so down here under Company Shared, if I take a look at the different connections, so from one server to another server, it's here where I can either determine whether or not that machine should use the default settings down here under Properties and Schedule, or whether I would create a custom connection schedule as well. Now, in a world where I've only got 2 servers, this doesn't make a lot of sense, but if I do have those 100 machines, you might imagine that your different network settings between geographic locations may have different parameters. You might have a very fast network connection to one location and a very slow network connection to another. So it's here where you can configure that custom connection schedule for just between 2 or 1 pair of machines. All caveats apply here because anytime you start dialing down the bandwidth, anytime you start constricting that replication from occurring during certain periods of the day or days of the week, the likelihood that a file could get changed simultaneously on both sides of that replication relationship begins to increase. And anytime that happens, there's some conflict detection, conflict management that has to occur. So be careful here in dialing these down or tailoring them too much, because you may end up just creating additional conflicts that you have to manage because people are making changes to files in multiple locations simultaneously.